We have lalin. We have long breath. We've been out there and we've been doing what an opposition party needs to do to hold a government responsible. So tonight, we have quite a few people who's going to speak. But before we do, we're going to play you a couple songs, a few spiritual songs, get us in a mood before we go into our speakers. So stand by for some spiritual, uplifting songs before we start the program tonight. Mr. DJ. All right, the DJ is working. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, lift us higher. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that we've been talking about in the United Workers' Party is the 10 pillar to prosperity. The 10 pillars that are going to be used by the United Workers' Party to bring this country and its people back to prosperity. I'm going to run through the first one before we bring on our first speaker. The first of the 10 pillars is economic empowerment through fair wages and salaries. We, as the United Workers' Party, will ensure better pay for our working class by initiating an increase in the minimum wage to $12 from its current levels. Public servants will realize a significant increase in their salaries. And as we transform the NEP, the National Employment Program, into a skill building and training program, their wages will also grow. These actions will ensure that every Dominican can live with dignity and provide for their families. So ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you hear people say that the United Workers' Party, yes, we're talking, but what are our plans? Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the 10 pillars that is being proposed by the United Workers' Party upon assuming office. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Workers' Party at this time, we are going to bring to you a person, a man who is working very, very hard to ensure that the people of this country get what they deserve in wages, in economic empowerment, and in skills training. He's an educator, he's an economist, he's trained, and ladies and gentlemen, we are very privileged in the United Workers' Party to have him as our president. I bring to you now Mr. President of the United Workers' Party, Mr. Claudius Sanford.
Right. Thank you very much, TC. Good night to the people of Layou, and good night to the constituency of St. Joseph. Tonight we are here just starting off, touching base with the people as we started in Grand Fond with our delegates conference in December. We have a new executive, and then we had our first rally in Grand Fond in February, and every month we'll be going to a different constituency to touch base with the people, to visit the people in their villages during the weekdays, as we did on Thursday and on Friday. We were here in the village with the political leader, and every month we'll have a meeting in one of the constituencies. Tonight is the first night. We are kicking off in Layou. Layou is a small village in the constituency of St. Joseph, but with a very powerful support for the United Workers' Party. And we are grateful for that support all throughout the years that you have given to us. Our party has taken some decisions in the past. We did not contest the 2022 election for very good reasons, because we believe that the Dominica electoral process needed to be upgraded. And we have fought hard over the years to ensure that we get electoral reform. And we see that even now, when the government decided to do it, they are still mama guy in the process. And you know that they are not happy with the confirmation process. We asked for total re-registration, but we didn't get that. And they are trying their best again to steal the election through a confirmation process that is not really doing well now. Those of you from the various constituencies, you would know that the speed at which this is going on is very slow, and the government itself is not happy with that. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for making your way to Layou. And for those of you at home listening to us, thank you for listening to us tonight. I open the baton tonight. As the president of the party, I open the baton to face the pace bowling and slow down the game so that the people coming after can hit the sixes and the fours. So I'm here tonight. I want to tell you a little bit about the plans of the United Workers' Party government as an alternative to the Dominica Labour Party. You will agree, one of the biggest issues in Dominica now is the high cost of living. Everybody is feeling the pinch. Everybody is feeling the gripes when they go to the shops. $100 now is chicken feed. Back in the days when you had $100 in your pocket, utesajwe go none. But right now, if you go in the shop with $100 and you buy 2 drinks for your partners, you don't have change. Things are very expensive in Dominica, and tonight we are trying to show you that with a UWP government following our 10-pillar program, we will be able to reduce the cost of living. So tonight I will talk to you briefly about our 10-pillar plan. The MC has done a good job in introducing the Pillar 1. But I want to talk a little bit about the others to set this stage so the other speakers to come. And I intend to show how if we follow the 10-pillar program, we can lower the cost of living in Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few short months, we'll have another election. It could be in 2026, it could be in 2027, it could be in 2028. But in a few months, we will have an election. And we have to be very, very careful in how we make our choices this time around. In the past, the Labour Party has always put our leader against their leader and have you to vote on an emotional level. And we have seen what that emotional vote has brought us over the years. It has brought us trouble with the US. Our people cannot get visas to go to the US anymore. Our relatives and friends in the US who wants to come to visit, who has their green card or who has their visa, are very fearful that if they come, they may not be allowed to go back. We have seen what has happened to the agricultural sector. We have seen what has happened to our manufacturing sector. We have seen what is happening to our young people with violence and drug abuse. This is the result of what we have seen when we vote based on emotions. But right now, I believe in Dominica, the time is right for us to listen to plans and programs of political parties and how they intend to make our lives better. I believe the time is right and Dominicans are ready to listen. And that is why we are here tonight in this small village of Layou, so that the people of Layou can listen to the United Workers' Party, listen to how we're going to tackle the high cost of living, listen to how we can empower young people to stay in the country and not fly away to the next neighboring country to find opportunities, to show how we can help our men, especially our young men in Dominica, to stay off the streets and get off the hard drugs and the violence and become productive men and husbands in their families. Ladies and gentlemen, that tonight is our message. Tonight, I want to paint a clear picture for you what a United Workers' Party government will be and will look like come 2027, 2026 or 2028. And exactly how our 10-pillar program of shared prosperity for all will lower the cost of living in Dominica. Imagine yourself walking into 2028 with a government that finally puts you first. No more one set of rules for them and another for us. No more contracts awarded to friends and foreigners while ordinary families struggle to put food on the table. Instead, you will see a lean, trim, transparent, accountable government led by Dr. Thompson Fontaine and the United Workers' Party team. A government that measures success not by how many big hotels are being built by foreigners, but by how many Dominican families can afford electricity, school books, and a decent meal every day. Our 10 pillars are not empty promises on paper, ladies and gentlemen. They are practical, step-by-step roadmap that we will begin implementing on day one. Let me show you, pillar by pillar, how they will directly attack the high cost of living and rebuild our economy from the ground up. Pillar number one, ladies and gentlemen, economic empowerment. We will immediately raise the national minimum wage to $12 per hour. We have spoken about that, and I want the people of Layou to hear us tonight. That is real money in your pocket. Whether you work in a shop, in Roseau, drive a taxi in Portsmouth, or labor on your field in the farms in Salisbury. More Take-home pay means families can buy more without going deeper into debt. At the same time, we will turn the National Employment Program, the NEP, into a real skill training engine so our young people can stop migrating and start building businesses right here in Dominica. Higher wages plus more jobs will equal a stronger local demand and a growing economy. Pillar number 2, I want you to listen carefully. Tax reforms, ladies and gentlemen. This is the pillar that will hit the cost of living the hardest and fastest. We need to look at lowering VAT, ladies and gentlemen. Slash import duties on the pot. Bon Dieu, yo ka chwe nou a support la. Slash import duties on basic goods and introduce duty-free incentives for small businesses and first-time home owners. Rice, flour, chicken, building materials, school uniform. Everything you buy every week will cost less. When taxes on imports come down, merchants pass the savings on to you. When small business pay less tax, prices go down and they will put money back into the pockets of the people at home. Pillar number 3, healthcare and education. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not no joke. People are afraid to go to the hospital. I don't know if that is the case in Layou, but in the village where I come from, if you tell the person they're going to the hospital, they tell them leave them at their home. We need to do something about our healthcare, ladies and gentlemen. A healthy, educated population is a productive population. We will launch the National Health Insurance Scheme so no family goes bankrupt from one hospital visit. We will train more doctors and increase our specialists in the medical field. We will modify our schools. We will modernize our schools with a heavy focus on science, technology, and mathematics, and vocational training. When our children get better education and our workers stay healthy, they earn more, they spend more, they drive the real economic growth, while families will stop worrying about medical bills eating up their salary. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from the Kalinago territory. Pillar number 4, Kalinago, culture and the environment. Today I was in Debosh, standing with Brother Nazio against the destruction of our environment and our forests. And tonight I am here to tell you that we in the United Workers' Party will turn our rich Kalinago heritage and our pristine environment into high-value ecotourism that benefit everybody. More tourist spending in Dominica and the Kalinago territory and our villages means more jobs and more foreign exchange, without destroying the very nature that makes Dominica special. Sustainable tourism lowers the pressure on government spending and brings steady income to rural families. We need to look at our country. Our country is very rich, and the Chinese know that, ladies and gentlemen. They know Debosh has copper and gold, and not only Debosh. And there are more minerals and riches, our water, our sea life, our marine life. We need a government that is responsible to make these things produce for us. Pillar number 5, I hope you are listening. I'm a lecturer at the college, so tonight I'm teaching you. Pay attention. Agriculture, water, and manufacturing. Dominica must feed itself first, Papa Bon Dieu. We have to provide our dash in our fig, our banana, and our vegetables. Our sweet potato, our manioc. Bon Dieu. Every household you pass now is dumpling and lentils with wings and back and neck. What about our dashing and our fig and our yams and our kush kush? A government has failed us in agriculture, ladies and gentlemen. And we in the United Workers' Party is saying we must feed ourselves first. We will give farmers training, market access, credit, and irrigation support. We will revise fishing, agro-processing in essential oils, and bottled water for export. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, St. Lucia is going through a drought, and we are not ready to send water to them in St. Lucia. We need to position ourselves to use the resources that we have on island to make our lives in Dominica better. When local farmers produce more dashing, bananas, cocoa and vegetables, we import less. Prices will drop, food security will rise, and foreign exchange will save from our imports, will strengthen our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, pillar number 6, youth opportunities. I spoke earlier about our young men and the gun violence, and all our young women who are educated and skilled live in our countries. We have to do something about the young people. Our young people are only taken advantage of by this government when election is coming. That is time you hear them calling seminars and workshops, and they want to hear about our young people. But in the meantime, for 25 years, ladies and gentlemen, our young people has been under the whip of the slave masters of the Labour Party. And we need to stop that. We need to put our young people first. We need to empower young people. Our young people are living because there is no future here in Dominica. Under UWP, we will create wealth, building programs, innovation hubs, vocational centers, and develop sporting facilities in every parish. When you pass in the parishes, in the villages, what you see is grass on the playing fields, no lighted fields. When our youth stay home, start businesses, develop their skills, and earn good wages, they spend that money right here, in our shops, on our farms, on our houses. And this is how we grow an economy from the inside, ladies and gentlemen. Pillar number 7. My class is a little long tonight, but bear with me. Infrastructure development. Bad roads, poor waste management, won't they say here? The rubbish. Ladies and gentlemen, the rubbish. Everywhere you pass in Dominica is rubbish. What has happened, ladies and gentlemen? What misery have we put on ourselves for the last 25 years that a government cannot manage garbage disposal in this country? We have to ask ourselves a serious question. Bad roads, poor road management, poor waste management, and locked up land are silent thieves stealing from every Dominican. We will fix the road, build proper drainage, and unlock arable lands for farming and business. Low transport costs mean cheaper goods delivered to your door. More land under cultivation means more local food and more jobs. Every mile of good road and every acre of productive land adds real value to our GDP. Pillar number 8, renewable energy. Ladies and gentlemen, over $100 million has been spent on geothermal. I advise Vince Henderson, and he is from St. Joseph, I advise him that if we had put this money into a hydro plant, we would have electricity 10 years ago. Dominica is the land of water. The technology for hydro is there. Canada is doing it. Why can't we do it? They went for geothermal because, ladies and gentlemen, them guys are corrupt and greedy. And that is how they could show their true self through geothermal. 10 years after, we still cannot light a flashlight. And we burn over $100 million. Ladies and gentlemen, renewable energy is a game changer for your electricity bill. We will aggressively develop hydro, solar, and other energy sources in Dominica. Dominica will become a low-cost energy nation, cheap enough to attract data centers and manufacturing plants. The reason why we cannot manufacture in Dominica is because the electricity is too expensive. Any serious government that puts its people first will work hard towards making electricity cheaper. Hydro has produced 30% of our electricity in Dominica. We could do another hydro plant in the north, one in the south, and it would be about 70% on renewable energy. Energy would be much cheaper in Dominica. It would have cost us about $150 to $200 million, and we would have been realizing that. But the government didn't want to do that because they saw a way to go with geothermal to enrich themselves, and we have yet to see that come to fruition. Pillar number 9, social equity and governance. Ladies and gentlemen, no more political victimization. Welfare and assistance will be based on need, not on who you vote for. Ladies and gentlemen, NEP employers, people who get the SWK has been politicized. They punish people, the elderly who cannot help themselves because they choose not to vote for them. That has to stop. In a God-fearing nation, we cannot have some evil act on our elderly and people who have made their contribution. Elders, single mothers, vulnerable families, and diaspora families will be included in national planning. In Dominica currently, we only want the diasporas to come for independence and come for carnival and spend their money. And when decisions are being made, we do not engage them. We do not engage their expertise and experience. A UWP government will change that. We will engage our diaspora people in our programs and in our policy actions. And finally, Pillar 10, transparent government. We will end the era of cocoa market politics, strict anti-corruption laws, independent oversight, and open tendering for every government project and contract. When public money is spent, we can build more schools, more roads, more clinics without raising taxes. Transparency builds investor confidence, bring back our diaspora dollar, and stop the leakage that has kept our economy small for decades. We are the smallest economy after Montserrat in the OECS. All the other countries who were lower than us has passed us. St. Lucia gone past us, St. Vincent gone past us, Antigua, St. Kitts. We have gone back because our government has not been transparent and accountable to us. You heard the news. 2 Iranians now have our passports smuggling oil into Russia. That is what them guys are up to. Not putting things in place so that every Dominican can have a better life. So we are saying tonight, with the 10-pillar plan that I have just put forward, it's just a little hint. As we go along in the villages, we will tell you more about it. As we put our team together under the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine, they each will be given their pillar as the sector of economy to tell you how we're going to make things work in this country. Tonight, we just opening the baton. And as the president of the United Workers' Party, we have started the campaign to take back governance in Dominica. Every one of you here tonight, listening at home or via the internet, you all have a responsibility to say enough is enough. 25 years for the Labour Party is enough. They have tried their best, but they have failed miserably. They have become too greedy. They have become too self-indulged, and they have forgotten about you and me and the barefoot man in St. Joe and the barefoot man in Layou, the barefoot man in the Kalinago territory. They have forgotten about the civil servants. They have forgotten about the business people in Roseau. Ladies and gentlemen, it hurts my heart to see in Roseau our Dominican people out on the streets trying to sell their little product on the tarpaulin, while foreigners are able to outbid us and take the proper real estate for business in Roseau. If that doesn't concern you as a Dominican, then something is wrong with you. You need to go and take a bath in the bushry and get rid of the obia that Scary put on you. Because it is a sad state to go into Roseau in the morning. You have to believe me. I have done it. 6 o'clock in the morning. Walk the streets of Roseau and see the Dominican brother and sister carrying his tarpaulin, his big bag, dragging from his place of safety to the road to put a little tarpaulin to sell, to make $1 to send his children to school. If that doesn't hurt you, and see that this government has not been looking after its own people, but has put foreigners before us, then you have a problem. You need to go and take a bath in the bush, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I presented to you the 10-pillar plan of the United Workers' Party. We are going to go forward with this 10-pillar to ensure that every Dominican knows that with the team under the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine, we are ready to govern this country. We will have our problems as we go along the way. We will take care of our problems. But our aim and our goal is to put Dominicans first and make a better life for every Dominican at home and abroad, and for the future of our children to come. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me tonight. And as I open the bats, I call on the MC to continue here tonight. Thank you very much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was our president, Mr. Claudius Sanford, president of the United Workers' Party, presenting to you the 10 pillars that we in the United Workers' Party are putting forward to revive this country and get it back on its feet. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. I'm a businessman. I have a business I think I can promote my business. My business, TC Auto Parts in Castle Comfort. Somebody in here must have went to my business and got something from there. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. It is not easy to have a business in Dominica these days. It is not easy. I'm not joking tonight. It is known that 20% of businesses fail in the first year. 30% fail in the second year. 50% fails in the 5th year, and 70% fails in the 10th year. So generally, having a business is hard work. But what can make it a lot more facilitating is when you have a government that's looking out for the business people. One of the roles of the government is to ensure that there is an environment that's conducive, that allows entrepreneurs to be able to work in their business. Let me give you some numbers before I call on the next speaker. I want you to know currently, if you go out and you purchase a vehicle for $150, 150 US dollars, you purchase a vehicle from Japan, 150 US dollars. By the time you put that vehicle in your hand, before you pay insurance, before you register it, before you license it, and before you put plates on it, you are going to end up having to spend $25,900 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Remember, you paid 150 US dollars for that vehicle. But at the end of the day, you are going to spend almost $26,000 before you register that vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, this government doesn't know how to facilitate business. This government does not know how to help entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, at this time, I'm going to call a young gentleman. He's a farmer. One of the areas in Dominica that we are having issues with, because we have no farm roads, we have no markets, but yet we have people who have the word that I used a while back, lalin, and they are working hard, very hard, to get their produce in the ground and get it to market. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, for a few minutes, I'm going to call a young man from Maho, Mr. Gerard Hector, to say a few words to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good night, the people of Layou, St. Joseph, and Dominica by extension. Fear no more. Fear no more. Fear no more. That's what we used to say in 1988. And we have to bring back that fear no more. That's what I have our people have the shackle in their mind under the Labour Party. People, I'm here to tell you I'm in the famine. And it's not easy. it is a rough road. This current administration promised the farmers to go to plant, and they have no market, nothing in place for we the farmers of this country. You hear about a refrigerating boat, you hear about cargo plane. It's in his back pocket. He sits on it, it can never come out. So we the people of this country are in the famine. We stay like disobedient children. And the people of Layou, St. Joseph, at farm at Agul, Krong, at Lee. The Layou Valley Road from after Glosho to reach Sultan is a hazard. It's only take the tourists to pass in it. That caused the farmers of St. Joseph and Layou to abandon their farm because there is no assistance for them in that road. Because it's wear and tear in vehicle. It's not good, people. It is a shameful. When you watch it place, Layou, St. Joseph, Salisbury, there's villages, there is hardcore farmers. Hardcore farmers, they earn their income from the farming. They spend and educate their children from the farming section. And now, it's abandoned ship. So, I telling you people, the United Workers' Party is the only dream for you and the only hope for those who believe in the farming section. And with the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fountain, we're going to move this economy very rapidly in the agricultural sector. Because no country in the world cannot run without agriculture, people. Because 99.5 is import. We are importing food in this country, which we're supposed to be the breadbasket for the Caribbean and the rest of the world. Because the Jehovah make us unique with water and a blessed fertile soil to grow every single thing to feed the rest of the world and the Caribbean. And people, we have been stagnant by only one man. One man. And come what day, that long rope have an end. This road have a corner. People, we have to put our minds together and say fear no more and enough is enough, and to take out this administration on the back of the people of this country. Because we are going nowhere, people. No growth. I don't see no growth. For my time living and doing farming, people, I know in banana time, we have field officer coming to our farm and estimate, watch what we're doing, and then we would get a result of to get inputs. Now, what you have, a field officer coming at you, take note, sometime every 3 months you see him, or every 5 months, and when he do come, nothing, just the same story. And I telling you, I'm in the heat. I only received 1 bag of fertilizer, which I don't accept it, the Morocco fertilizer. And I planting over 5,000 dashing plant per month. I planting dashing, I planting bananas, I planting tanias. I still assisting other farmers in doing other work, people. And it's a shame in this country. That is our backbone, and it is gone apart, it is vanished. And I smell victory coming with the United Workers' Party and Dr. Thompson Fountain and his team, which Claudia Stanford lay out the 10 pillars. And people, this chocolate is in all your brains. Please, please try your best. Pray and get it out and be a better Dominica. Because I seen my youth have been going astray. I watching my young youth today, not creative. Because we had a youth skill training under the reign of the Freedom Party and the United Workers' Party. When you don't do well at school, then you could have learned a trade and to be able to upgrade yourself. Now we don't have nothing like that. The young man just on the street, creating what? Killing one another, and then the CO. People, the CO not good for Dominica. Our healthcare people, before I leave there, because I don't have much time. Our healthcare under the reign of Doreen Paul in Layou was very vibrant in this country. And now our healthcare in Dominica fall apart. If you have to go to hospital, you rather stay at your home and die, people. Because it have nothing at the hospital. Everything have been changed. The Chinese and them have taken over, people. It is not good for us. And we as a nation, Dominican, we should proud ourselves and stand against this young man that come out from Vegas and destroying this country and put the country like a turtle on its back. Balling through my fault. And we need to stop this. And the only way to stop it, you have to go and reconfirm, my people. You have to go and reconfirm, and when he call the election, to vote him out at any cost. At any cost and any mean. And don't take it for any joke, people, because I'm dead serious about it. Because I'm ready, I'm suffering, I'm in pain in this country. When I watch how my country fall apart under one man. One man. It's not good. People, I have so much to say I cannot say because I have very little time. I have more speakers to come and they will educate you and tell you more. But before I leave, I want to tell you again, we have to stand up with Layou Fountain on the Monday march to stop the Chinese and them from digging this land for the copper. For them to make the pipes and to make bullets. That's what they want the copper for. So I want you all to stand up and rally with Layou Fountain and for Dominica betterment for tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, big hand for this young man, a farmer from Maho, Mr. Hector. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was standing here a few minutes ago, I told you about how expensive it is to get a vehicle to Dominica. But I want you to know that you have a chance to get a vehicle for only $5. $5. If you go back to this tent right there, they're selling tickets for a raffle, for a little pickup, and you can take a chance. $5, you stand a very good chance, or you stand somewhat of a chance. This is the 5th year for this raffle. We've raffled an HRV, a Mazda Demio, a Suzuki Swift, and a Toyota Noah. And this year we're raffling a Suzuki Carry pickup. So stop by the tent and pick up your tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing somewhat of a very, very confusing state. You know, and many of you here have been fighting for electoral reform for the past how many years? And this government decided, in its lack of wisdom, to put a system in place that confuses the mass of Dominica. Explain to me, why is it that I show up to a confirmation center with an ID card showing who I am, or a birth certificate, a passport, a social security card, a driver's license, say this is me, this is my name, and I have to go find somebody to bring them with me to say he is not lying, that's really him on that picture. I don't know how much sense that really makes. You know, so you're gonna believe somebody else who tells you that is me, instead of me with my ID that's telling you this is who I am. So after you do this confirmation or application for confirmation, you've confirmed since October. This is March, and up till today, not one individual in this country has received an ID card. Nobody has a voter's ID card. But to speak more about this process that's confusing, that's troubling, and that's humbugging many of us. Don't leave here tonight and say we didn't say anything. if somebody confronts you and says to you, but what the United Workers Party say now, Mare your party Layou, samedi passé. Si your party tan, tout ça, c'est bon la te gadi. And if you're from West America, ask them, oh God, oh. But you know me there, Layou, last week, man. You know me hear what I may have to say? Because a lot of information is coming out here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you tonight a gentleman who's been fighting and fighting. He's part of the ERC, the member of the Dominica Freedom Party. He's been fighting for electoral reform to see that we get a process that works to hold his government accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you tonight Mr. Johnson Boston to say some words to you.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas, TC. And good night to you, my brothers and sisters from Layou, St. Joseph. In fact, the entire St. Joseph constituency, which made up of Layou, St. Joe Bells, and Miro. And of course, those of you who came from neighboring villages and around the country, and those of you viewing online tonight. I want to thank the United Workers' Party for inviting me here tonight to talk to you about electoral reform. And as TC said, these have been around for many years, because the elections before this Labour Party came into office, elections with the Freedom Party and the United Workers' Party, there were loopholes in the law. But they go by honesty and ensure that they campaign and bring to you, the people of Dominica, the plans that they had to move the country forward. But this government, under Roosevelt's carrot in particular, have exploited the loophole and have corrupted the process. And elections after elections, you saw what happened, and they get back into office. In fact, they are so afraid of the local population, they have to import voters from overseas to come to help them in elections here in Dominica. I was told by somebody from St. Joseph, who was a strong supporter of the Labour Party. In fact, that person was Freedom and moved to Labour. And they said in the 2019 election, when they did the work on the voters list, they recognized that Monel Williams was winning the seat by over 200 votes. So they brought people into St. Joseph, over 300 persons, and the seat went the other way. And that's what they have been doing year after year. And we decided that for a country to move forward, its people have to be united. When there is an election, the political parties come before you, they campaign, and put before you the plans. And you, the voters, will decide which of the candidates you will elect to represent you in Parliament, and which of the party you elect to form the government. And once that is done in a proper way, in a transparent, free and fair manner, then the loser can call the winner and say, congratulations to you, you won, we have lost. We can come together and help to build our country. But the way that happened over 3 or so elections, we have seen bad habits in our politics, we have seen tiffin in our politics, and therefore we decided that there must be electoral reform. In 2019, after that election, and that was a snap election, the Prime Minister's carrot said in Parliament, one of the most vexing issues that was in that campaign was electoral reform. And in his first 100 days, he will appoint a prominent lawyer or jurist in the region to do a consultancy on our electoral laws here in Dominica. And then Sir Dennis Byron was hired. He was paid handsomely, and then they agreed to pay him further so that he can do the drafting of the legislation. All that was done. The Electoral Reform Coalition, brothers and sisters, which was formed in 2022, came on the scene when Roosevelt Scarrett in 2022, brothers and sisters, in 2022 it was, yes. He received a letter from Sir Dennis Byron, and at the time the leader of the opposition, Lennox Linton, received a similar letter. And Sir Dennis Byron was said to them that he will be presenting his report in the first quarter of 2023. Malkali took Scarrett. He so know that he have a thieving habit, brothers and sisters, and he had malediction in how he governed the country. He decided to dissolve the House November 6, 2022 for election in December 2022. Then we in the opposition, civil society groups, and some religious groups formed the Electoral Reform Coalition. And remember, after the 2019 election, there was some disagreement, and the matter was taken before the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal advised, do not participate in something you think that is wrong, and when you lose, come and complain. And this is why in 2022, the United Workers' Party and other parties did not take part in the election. And what we're seeing today, our election, our governance, our parliament is parisé, brothers and sisters. And we fought so much for reform. The government refused to dialogue. We wrote letters upon letters to the Prime Minister, made suggestions, to no avail. We wrote to the Electoral Commission, to no avail. We wrote to the President, and of course Charles Savarin as President, when he was there, met a delegation from the ERC, and Dr. Fountain was there. And then when this new president came in, Mrs. Burton, she met a delegation of the ERC, and Mr. George was there as well in that delegation. So we have been talking, we have been working for reform. And when they went to Parliament to pass the laws that they passed, they ignored the work done which was paid for by Sir Dennis Byron. They threw it away because they wanted to do their macacue with reform, and they appointed their own little committee who did a nonsense and went to Parliament with it. A team of us came out and we asked the people of Dominica to give us support to oppose the kind of reform laws that was going to our Parliament. We asked for complete new registration. Can you imagine you have a population with just about 60 or so, below 70,000 people, and your voters list is over 74,000 people. Something is wrong, brothers and sisters. Where are the young people in this country? Because if your voters list shows that you have 74,000+ voters, then it means we're in a population of below 70,000 people, then we have no young people, only voters, brothers and sisters. So something was drastically wrong with that. You know, 25 of us got arrested. Some slept in the cell. I myself slept one day in the cell for reform. But the very law that they passed, they are violating the law. And they fought with their nonsense that people will rush, brothers and sisters, to confirmed. But when you're doing wrong things, brothers and sisters, nothing wrong will have survival. When you are thieving, there's a saying, 3 days for you and 1 day for the guard. And that's what is happening today, and people are refusing to confirm. They remove what our laws make provision for continuous registration. And the new law said the same thing. But the Electoral Commission and the Electoral Office, brothers and sisters, ignored that. And for a whole year, people could not register. to be on the voters list, brothers and sisters. They only resume it on the 9th of March, brothers and sisters. So that is the kind of thing they have been doing in this country, and many of us cannot go to bed. We have to look at them. We have to expose them and let the world know that we are in a country where a crooked team of individuals are in government with one man controlling everything. And our country is going down and down. I will tell you something. This election coming is not about party, you know. It's about you. Whether you want to remain in a country where people are looking after themselves and ignoring you, not creating jobs, not growing the economy, not ensuring that the constituencies are well attended to. I remember St. Joseph because we have gardening car home. So I did a lot of movement in St. Joseph in those days, and Salisbury. And remember St. Joseph and Layou. These areas were kicking. I remember the goods vehicles when they come from Roseau, Astafans, Whitchurch, and so on, and they get to St. Joe. They used to go back to Roseau to get more loads or additional loads to go further north, because St. Joseph and Layou and Mero, Salisbury, and of course the West Coast was alive. And people, brothers and sisters, you were doing well. But since this government came into office, they have killed the spirit of the people of St. Joseph. They have killed the spirit of the people of Layou, brothers and sisters. And some time ago they did a census, and it was so shocking what the census revealed about St. Joseph. And I know that constituency was well taken care of by the people because you are hardworking people. Everybody in St. Joseph and in Salisbury and in Layou and in Mero knew on a Monday morning and during that week where they're going to. Some goes to the farm, some go fishing, some go to work in the public service, some were police officers, teachers, and so on. And this government, brothers and sisters, have killed the spirit of St. Joseph, have killed the spirit of the people of Dominica. And you here in Layou, you are no strangers to voting, to understanding what is right and what is wrong. And for 25 years, that is half of your productive life, this government has been there keeping the country down. This government has been there looking after themselves, their friends and foreigners. I think Stanford said a while ago that you go to Roseau and you see people struggling to make a living. You remember in Roseau you had a lot of indigenous business people. You know what the Chinese did? They go around and they see you in a little shop there, selling your clothes, doing your little business. You're paying $3,000, $4,000 a month. They offer $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month to the owner, and you're out. And all the shops in Roseau, the majority of them are taken up by Chinese. We are not saying that we do not want foreign investors, but we want investors not only in selling clothes. We want investors in creating jobs and good jobs for the people of Dominica. So I said to you, brothers and sisters, tonight, that the government try their utmost to crooked the electoral process, the confirmation process. And many of us are not even so interested. But I'm saying to you, you must get interested. You must go out there, speak to your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, and tell them that they have to confirm. Go with the necessary documents and get confirmed. Those of you who are not registered, you must go out there and get registered, because we need the vote to TWAO in the next election. And if the vote is not there, then brothers and sisters, all this hard work we're doing will be in vain. So you better go out there in your drove. And I want everybody here in Layou, when the election is called, to come out there and vote against the Labour Party. Vote for change. Vote for a revived Dominica. Vote for Dominica that will create jobs and opportunities for the survival of all Dominicans at home and abroad. And I say to you tonight, you must go out there, brothers and sisters, and convince your neighbor, convince your friend that the movement for change in Dominica is on, and the St. Joseph constituency with Layou must be the examples of change that the people of Dominica will see that you are on the move and you're ready to make a change in Dominica for yourself, for your family, and for the people of Dominica. Thank you, God bless you, and good night.
Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Boston. He's a gentleman who's been fighting and fighting and fighting with the rest of us for electoral reform. Some very poignant words here tonight. All right, Mr. DJ. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, without much more ado, I'm going to call a young man from Portsmouth. I'm going to call him up to the platform right now to say a few words. He's a young man who, we know a lot of young people in our community right now. When you pass around the place, you see them with their favorite tools, scissors and a calabash. But ladies and gentlemen, there are young people in our community who are working hard. I'm not saying some of these people are not working hard, don't get me wrong. But there are some people who are just spending their time working hard, and this gentleman is one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Alexandre Etienne.
Let me first say good evening to everybody in attendance here. Before I start my presentation, I would like to ask a question. I heard that people in the St. Joseph constituency, especially Layou, I heard that in Layou, that's where they make the best Tanya porridge. I don't know how true that is, but I was told it's Tanya porridge that used to give the Layou people strength to work so hard on their farms. Right now, they downgrade to flour pap. And I don't understand why. If something was good for you and it was working for you, why would you give up on it now? So from the last time I spoke at the Grand Four rally, I met a few persons and they come up to me and tell me, boss, Alex, I never knew you was brave so. So I check like, what you mean? What you mean I brave? They check like, why you have the courage to actually stand on the political podium, especially against the Labour Party. I find you brave. So I check it like, boss, God did not create me and give me a spirit of fear. So what should I be afraid of? If I know I stand in for something good, then why should I be afraid? I don't understand that. There are things I am afraid of, you know, although I'm brave. Like things like snakes. Trust me, I afraid snakes. I afraid centipede. Although those things can be eliminated when you see them, right? What I really truly afraid of is being broke. Having a broke pocket is one of my greatest fears. Imagine one day a lady come up to you and tell you she wants to buy something new and you cannot afford it, and you still have the courage to tell her, go and check the PAL rep. I'm afraid of that. Trust me. So, today I stand here, not just as a voice, but as a reflection of the struggles, hopes, and resilience of our people across the nation. Families are feeling the weight of economic hardship in ways that cannot be ignored and must not be dismissed. The rising cost of living has placed an unbearable strain on households. Parents are working longer hours, yet finding it harder to put food on the table. Young people are striving for opportunities that seem increasingly out of reach. Small business owners, which are supposed to be the backbones of our community, are fighting to stay afloat in the face of mounting expenses and shrinking profits. This is not just about numbers on a page. This is about real lives. It is about the farmer who cannot afford supplies, the vendor whose daily earnings no longer stretch as they once did, the student who wonders if their dreams will be postponed indefinitely. We must ask ourselves, how did we get here? And more importantly, where do we go from here? We cannot ignore the global challenges that affect our economy, like the rising import costs, climate-related setbacks, and shifting markets. But we also cannot hide behind them. Leadership demands action, not excuses. It demands that we confront these challenges with bold ideas, practical solutions, and an unwavering commitment to the people. We must prioritize policies that bring relief to those who need it most. Targeted support for the low-income families, meaningful investment in local agriculture, and real opportunities to create jobs. We must strengthen our small businesses, not with promises, but with access to financing, training, and fair conditions that allow them to thrive. And we must invest in our future, our youth, because a nation that neglects its youth, people risk losing not only its talent, but its hope. But let me be clear, the strength of our country has never been measured solely by its economy. It has always been measured by its people, their resilience, their unity, and their determination to rise above adversity. We have faced hardship before, and we have overcome it, not because it was easy, but because we choose to stand together. Now it's time to do it again. Let us reject the division. Let us reject division and embrace collaboration. Let us hold our leaders accountable while also holding onto hope. Let us build an economy that works not just for a few, but for every citizen. The road ahead will not be easy, but together with courage and purpose, we can ease the burden on our people and restore the promise of a better tomorrow. Workers! Workers! Back then, I like to go a little back in history back then, right? And I was so amazed being a young child and seeing the power of workers. Seeing the power of workers. Right now, we tend to have worker supporters that hide in. I don't know why. It's been years I haven't seen a worker supporter actually representing our symbol. We used to have sons dragging on the road. And nowadays, like, people don't even know that our symbol is the saw. You know what that saw signifies? Work, talent, putting your talent to making money. We need to start making money again. We need to start empowering our people. And under the leadership of the great Dr. Thompson Fountain, these dreams can once again be a reality. We need to take out that big stone from Vickers in the road. Trust me, that stone from Vickers needs to be removed. And instead they're going there wash and try to bulldoze the mountain. I think they should put the dynamite under that stone and break it up. Give us a chance to breathe again. Too many times that we send our children overseas looking for opportunities when we can create our own opportunity. So trust me, when I want to leave Dominica, I want to go for 2 weeks for the most and come back. A vacation, a cruise. And you can only do that when you are financially independent. No longer we will depend on the Prime Minister for a little health. Sometimes we have a little health issue and then we have to go to the Prime Minister for a little handout. We have to line up. And according to the Pascal rep of Portsmouth, they have him in Cuba now, and he cannot speak Spanish. He said they line up for it, they bend down for it, they cry for it, they pray for it. We do not want to do that. We want to create our own opportunities and do what we need to do for ourselves. And trust me, that can only happen under a united Workers' Party government. So let's put aside our petty differences and let us once again build this strong movement of workers. Workers! If we stand 20 years struggling under labor, now is not the time to give up now. Now is the time to remove labor there, and the opportunities is right there. So we cannot hand victory to scare it on a silver platter again. Put aside our differences, come together, and let us do what we have to do to remove this Labour Party off our backs. Thank you very much. Workers!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a young man who is aspiring for bigger and better things. We just cannot have all our young people leaving this country one after the other with all the skills, all the talent, and then our country stays with people who may not have a way out, or who are fighting and struggling because of the system. So the only way we can do better is to work with the person who is here, who can help us do better. Dr. Thompson Fountain, someone who has fixed economies all over the world, now leading the United Workers' Party, and who has the talent and the people with him, the team that can help bring this country back to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm going to call on a young man. He's from Calabishi. He's a farmer. He's a tour operator. He's a caretaker for the Paybush constituency. That includes Paybush. That includes Benz, Ansdime, Ansolda, and Calabishi. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman knows what farming is. He knows what it is to be a farmer. He knows what it is to work in this country, to try to make himself better. And he is trying to do it also for the people of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Davis George.
Yes, Mr. DJ, thank you, thank you. Good night to the people of Layou. Where are you? Where? I don't seen Layou people there, man. I always in Layou, you know, I don't seen Layou. What happened in there? Good night, workers. And good night to everybody. And thanks for coming. I bring you greetings from the Paybush constituency. As you can see, I just from the constituency, doing my farming and getting things organized. Because I can tell you, farming or agriculture is one way we're going to bring down the cost of living in Dominica. Because we need to start to eat what we grow. People, things are not going to be the same again. Right? And I want to tell each and every one of you, it is time for us to at least have something planted up. Have some lettuce, have some potatoes, have something planted somewhere, because when things rough, we know where to fall back. All right? Because I myself doing farming, and I'm doing it on a larger scale right now. And inputs is expensive. Labor, you cannot get that. So you yourself have to start to do your thing. Right? And what we intend to do, meaning the United Workers' Party, is to make agriculture be back again. Because workers has always put agriculture. They remember the days when they used to call us the Agriculture Party? I mean, just from the constituency, and I know in Layou you all having that same issue with roads. The feeder roads are in bad state. Farmers are not getting the price that they really want for their crops. And I can guarantee you people that when we get into office, that we're going to change that around. We're going to make inputs. Because first of all, when we do the tax reform, on the pot, inputs going to be cheaper. And this is something that all farmers would like. Right? I just come from my farm and I have potatoes, I have plantain. But where's the market for those things? Where are the markets? Just recently, I see banana, plantain was just ripening on trees. Farmers was taking plantain and just give to the pigs. People, we need to change that. And there are so many things we can do with plantain. So many things. So let us start to focus people on agriculture to help to bring down the cost of living. Right? Dr. Fontaine and myself have been going around different villages in different constituencies. And when you hear they talk about agriculture, the farmers in the area talking about agriculture, first thing they mention is the feeder road, you know. The feeder road is in bad state. And we, in the United Workers' Party, we know how we're going to organize the feeder roads, bring back agriculture to how it used to be. So let us start, people. Let us start somewhere, right? I heard the Prime Minister the other day saying they're going to give young people land to lease. And I'm saying, but where? When you pass in Kalibishi area, going up in the hills, and I saw so many other areas, you will see the amount of land that is just sitting there, you know. Land that is just sitting there where we can utilize those land. But no, he wants to give you land all the way in the forest. How that going to work? Because you have to put in roads. You're not even fixing what you have. The other thing, boats. Boats to get the produce out of Dominica. I heard somebody told me the other day, he said the boats was too big. The boat that he was going to get, it was too big. Oh, you don't hear that? Yeah. Oh, you never hear that? Yes. But that is what, how long we can take this foolishness from the Prime Minister? How long can we take that? And it's time that we put that Prime Minister behind our backs. He has been there long enough and he has no more ideas. No more ideas. Right? So people of Layou, I know you have been supporting, and I know you have been supporting very hard, very strong, the United Workers' Party. So continue to support the United Workers' Party. Because when we get in office again, we're going to change that. And I cannot emphasize that enough, you know. We have to change that. Because if our party and Dr. Fontaine don't change that, I myself, I out. You understand? Because I'm not there for no nonsense. We have to get things done right. And we have to start with agriculture. There are no farmers inside there. We can make agriculture. Back in the days, bananas alone used to bring in how much? Millions of dollars away. We need to bring back those kind of things. We have pineapples. We have sweet potatoes. We have avocados. We have plantain, just name it. So it's time, people, it is time. Let us put this Prime Minister behind our back now. I heard somebody say something, I would repeat. But it's time for us to take out that go wash. That go wash, that big stone we have in the road there, it's time for us to take it out. You understand? Let us make something happen for the farmers. Let's make the farmers feel proud again. Back in the days when farmers have money, everybody have money. Everybody have money when the farmers have money. Let us bring back those days. Right? And people, I'm telling you, it's time that we hold our ministers, hold our pal-reps. Let us hold them accountable to what they are saying. Right? It's time to hold them accountable. I myself, you can hold me accountable too. Because once I am not doing it right, tell me, Dave, that is not right. That is not what you said you were going to do. Right? So it is time, people. Let us wake up. Let us wake up, people. There is market outside there. Imagine I was in the States the other day and I see basilic well packaged in supermarkets. We have basilic all around the place, basilic. Why can't we start things and let us make something happen for our people? We just need to find the markets. And we, the United Workers' Party, we will find the markets for you. All right, people? We will find the markets. So let us, people, let us come together. Let us unite. Right? Let us unite. And let us remove what is in office there. All right? Let us remove them. All you agree with me? Let us remove all what that they're in office. Every one of them. Let us take them out. And Layou, all of them. All of them. All right, people? I love you, Layou. I love you, workers.
Yes. No four. You're making no 4, no 6. Just choke it in. And that can't make no runs. So yes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Davis George, talking to us about farming. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, a gentleman, the General Secretary of the United Workers' Party, a former distinguished commander in the Dominica Police Force, a gentleman who knows what the laws are supposed to be, who knows how the laws are supposed to be enforced in this country, a man who has been a strong and staunch supporter of the United Workers' Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you tonight on this platform, Mr. Nicholas George.
Good evening. The MC said that I was a police officer. And when I was a recruit at class, when the instructor says, good evening, good morning, people are supposed to respond. We've been in Layou for a little while and we've been entertained. Now I'm saying, good evening. Good evening. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the Layou constituency that comprises the villages of Biosh, Jubla, and Layou. I am the caretaker for the Layou constituency at the time. And we are on the West Coast this evening. So we are united as the West Coast Massive. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard and you will continue to hear things that troubles us. It troubles us in the United Workers' Party that some people don't seem to get it. If you have to vote, you vote. Voting for whomever you want is your right. But you also have a right to challenge the person for whom you vote to deliver for you. And we are sitting here in Dominica because we voted and there is a Labour government in power. We have decided that we will not challenge them. So the York Valley Road from Layou up all the way to Sultan, I call it the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea put together. The road is very bad. But it is in a Labour Party held constituency. Are you saying to me that we, the people of Layou and St. Joseph, are afraid to say to our pal rep that we need that road because we are talking about agriculture? And an agricultural belt in Dominica is along that road. So we need to stand up and say to our parliamentary representative that if you are not going to agitate for the building of this road, then we won't vote for you. And when the budget is being discussed in July and August every year, we want to hear our pal rep making representation for the development of our individual constituencies. And the other thing is, on vote, we have the right to vote. And I'm asking everybody, I've heard some people saying, there's confirmation, I am not going to confirm. Well, I applied for confirmation, notwithstanding that I had Shodo a couple of years early in my life when I was confirmed in the Catholic Church. I went back to apply for confirmation. But what is troubling about the confirmation process, ladies and gentlemen, is that it started on the 15th of October 2025. I went and I applied for confirmation on the 17th of October 2025. We are on the 21st of March 2026, and I have not yet been told that I am confirmed. When my father took me to the church and said that I was going to be confirmed, as soon as the bishop laid his hand on my head, I was confirmed. But in Dominica, we do not know which one of us has been confirmed. We have applied for confirmation, but we don't know. And we cannot sit down in Dominica and say we have a right to vote, and then we will vote, and they're going to allow us to vote because we are confirmed. It is a whole year. The laws were passed in Parliament on the 19th of March 2025. On the 25th of March 2025, between the 19th and the 25th, the President of Dominica assented to the laws. And on the 25th, it was gazetted. So the laws, the Registration of Electors Act, the House of Assembly Act, the Election Commission Act, they were all assented to and gazetted on the 25th of March 2025. 1 year later, the laws have not been enforced. We were denied the right to be registered. That is to say, young people who were 18 years, who have been 18 years since the 25th of March 2025, have not been able to be confirmed. They have not been able to be registered in Dominica. That is a violation of our rights. And the commission, the Electoral Commission of Dominica, has violated the laws of Dominica. They are lying to us. And some of us in this country sit down and say, it is all right because it's our party that is in power. No. That party that is denying us the right to vote, to register, and to confirm, and to tell us that we are confirmed, is the same party that is preventing your children from getting promoted. I was in the police force, and promotion is tight. But I can tell you, you have a feeling when you are going to get promoted. If you're in the public service or you're in the police force, you get a sense that you have reached, and you're now going to come from constable to corporal, corporal to sergeant, sergeant to inspector. And when it does not happen, and then you see somebody else promoted, who is not meriting of the promotion, it hurts you. It hurts you. And what we're allowing political interference in the advancement of our children. Our children who have qualified for the advancement. But we are allowing it. I am saying to us, those of us that are gathered here tonight, to understand that voting and elections have responsibilities. It has consequences. When you vote, you're giving somebody the right to work on your behalf, not to do what they want. Our Prime Minister is building now his second mansion. His second mansion. There's a third that we are paying $64,000 a month to maintain. So it is not a favor the Prime Minister is doing us to serve us. Sometimes you write the Prime Minister's office and they cannot even write you a response. And we sit down there and we say, it is all right. It is not all right, ladies and gentlemen. And the United Workers' Party is telling you that that is not all right. You heard from our president a while ago. There's going to be transparency and accountability in government. And in the United Workers' Party, you know that we do our work transparently. We elect our leaders every year. And we have our debates. And when we go to our conventions, we come out united and we come out with an elected executive that has the power of the people and that allows us to plan meetings like this and to be here tonight. So when we do that in the party, we are going to do that in government. But we need your vote. We need you to start speaking to your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your friends, and say to them that what is represented in Roseau as the government of Dominica is corrupt. It's bad. I'm going to tell you, I'm not surprising, I'm just telling you that if a general election is called now for May this year, the electoral list that will be used is the one that was used in 2022. From 2022 to 2025, we advocated for electoral reform, and we seemingly got it on the 25th of March. But up to now, our Electoral Commission cannot tell us who among us is confirmed. Who among us is on a new electors list? And who among us has a voter ID card since we have asked for confirmation? And then we know that the registration has not happened since the 25th. So the old list is what is going to be. In other words, there's going to be the city council election in Roseau on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd. And the old list is what is going to be used. We are 72,000 in our country. Our electors list has 74,000. How does that happen? How does that happen? And how is it that we sit idle by and we say that is enough? No. We must start to agitate, we must start to advocate, we must start to protest, and we must start to ask that our rights in Dominica are respected at all times. It is for you, it is for me, and more importantly, it is for our children. We cannot allow any government to say, well, UWP did it, so now we labor and we empower and we're doing it. No. Or Labour is doing it, and when UWP comes in power, we are going to do the same. No. Dominica deserves better, and the United Workers' Party is going to do better. We are going to change the foolishnesses that are happening in Dominica. We're going to take corruption out of our system. We're going to change the way we choose people to be promoted in our police forces, in our civil service. And one thing, we are going to look after our elderly. This foolishness, ladies and gentlemen, try to understand that we have people who have worked. They are sacrificed for their country. And today, in their elderly years, they're being ignored by our government. Or they're getting selective service by our government. No. We cannot allow that to happen. We will not allow that to happen. And the United Workers' Party, the party that all of us belong to, when we get into elective office, we will ensure that these corrupt practices are no more. This victimization is no more. This discrimination against our people is no more. This doing what you want because you're a minister is no more. Doing what you want because you're a prime minister is no more. You are a servant of ours and you will continue to serve us. And in the United Workers' Party, we promise you that we will serve you diligently in every sphere of administration in Dominica. Thank you and God bless you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, powerful words from a powerful man. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think when I looked at the confirmation list, the people who they said have actually confirmed, we were only at about 1,800 plus. After October, we started in October, November, December, January, February, March. 5 months, and only 1,800 people were confirmed. So, of the thousands of people who applied for confirmation, this snail's pace confirmation seems to be really taking its time. Ladies and gentlemen, you know today is the 21st of March. On the 19th of March 2025, we had a lot of patriots who were arrested because they were fighting and protesting and demonstrating for the right to free and fair elections. And they were not only men out there fighting to get those rights, but they were men and women alike. Ladies and gentlemen, one of such patriot who was out there fighting for free and fair election was she's going to be our next speaker. She went out there and she fought and she has been fighting for free and fair election. Now let's be real. What we've had in the past cannot be considered free and fair. In fact, we were told so. So this young lady has been fighting, she's been on the front line, and she has been working hard with the ERC to ensure and to put things in place to ensure that this government put things in place to create a level playing field. She spent time, she was arrested with all the other patriots who were arrested on the 19th of March, and she's coming now to speak to us on the reason why she's fighting for free and fair election. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Paula Celestine.
Good evening, my fellow Dominicans. Good evening to the people of Layou, St. Joseph, and Dominica by extension. My fellow Dominican brothers and sisters of this beautiful nature isle, I stand before you today not as a criminal, but as a daughter of Dominica, a taxi operator, a mother, and a citizen who believes in our shared future. Like many of you, I was arrested following a peaceful protest on March 19th 2025, I spent 3 days in police cells. We march not to cause chaos, but to demand what every democracy owes its people: free and fair elections. Why does this matter so deeply? Because elections are not just about choosing leaders. They are the gateway to everything else we dream of, our families and our nation. When elections are rigged, manipulated, or clothed in the distrust, when voters' lists are outdated, when money and influence drowns out ordinary voices, when the will of the people is ignored, then the government that results does not truly serve us. It serves itself. And when government fails to serve the people, our young people leave our shores in search of opportunities elsewhere, because jobs and real development remain promises of unfilled. Our farmers struggle without fair markets or support, while basic needs like reliable health care, quality education, and affordable housing slip further out of reach. Corruption festers, public funds disappear, and trust erodes, leaving communities divided and hopes diminish. A free and fair election changes the trajectory. It gives every Dominican, regardless of party, parish, or pockets, a real voice. It forces leaders to listen, to deliver, and to be accountable. When leaders know they can be peacefully voted out if they fail us, they are far more likely to fight corruption head-on. Invest in roads, schools, hospitals, and jobs that keep our families together. Protect our environment and build resilience against disaster. Ensure that prosperity reaches every village, not just a chosen few. True electoral reform, clean voters registered, transparent process, oversight, and safeguard against abuse is not a luxury. It is the foundation for a higher standard of living. It is how we turn potential into progress, despair into dignity, and promises into reality. I was arrested for standing up for this truth, but I am not discouraged. I am more determined, and I am not alone. Thousands of you share these convictions. Our protest was a cry for justice, not division. Let us continue to stand together peacefully, persistently, for elections our constitutions promise and our people deserve. Because only when every vote counts equally will every Dominican truly count. A better Dominica is possible. It begins with free and fair elections. Tonight my message here is clear. Many hard-working Dominicans are waiting for a general election to be called. Because in every corner you pass, you are hearing people talking about the hardship they are going through. To the persons who are thinking about contesting the next general election, let us get on the ground and do our homework. It's your duty to get the people registered. This failed Roosevelt party has a plan, and so we too must have a plan. Your mindset must be to come together as one. It does not depend on who or which political party, as long as it's not the Roosevelt party or the Roosevelt government. We must remove these thieves from government. It has cost this country a lot more money to reconfirm than to ask the voters to go and do a new registration. Take note of Monday coming Roseau City Council elections. The amount of problems people have had finding their names on this list. I ensure that we get people registered at this time. We must go into every nook and cranny and get our people to register. if this is all we can do for our nation, each and every one here this evening, let's lend a hand to a brother and a sister. Let's take them to register, because when an election is called, we stand a chance to get rid of this criminal government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take your time. Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving along. Up next, we're going to have a gentleman. He's from this constituency. Once again, another talented individual, a gentleman who has served this country in the capacity of law and order. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call to the podium tonight none other than Mr. Saint Val.
I said the things that the high deep down inside I will reveal. The truth will reveal what's in their hearts and what is in their hearts.
Workers! Workers! I'm not going to be very long. And I'm going to address a particular group of people in Dominica, in the crowd here, and in Dominica, wherever they are. Come children, come my children. I have a story to tell you. Come children, come my children. I have a story to tell you. Well, I'm a child of the 70s and I'm crying out. Because when I look at my people this day, I feel a how. The oppression and regression today I see and feel. No, it has to be an illusion, it cannot be real. Foolishness has crippled their conscious mind. What progress we made, they have left behind. Our positive gains going down the drain look like 1970 happened in vain. My brothers and sisters, this evening I want to talk about the reconfirmation process. As I go around, I hear the young people saying that they are not going to reconfirm. But if you do not reconfirm, my young people, you will be just behanding scared the next general election on a platter. We have to reconfirm. Don't allow that to frustrate you. The United Workers' Party told them the best thing to do was a complete registration. 60-something thousand people, 72,000 on the voters list. That cannot be real. So they go because they knew they wanted to bring down their people to vote and so on. But Uncle Trump hit them the dusra. Trump hit them the dusra. So the other people in the overseas cannot come down. So whatever they did backfire on them. Their people not reconfirming, they paying them thousands of dollars, they buying passport for them, they still not reconfirming. So they try to frustrate us by saying you need driver's license, social security card, or passport. How many Dominicans have that? There are some people who have never left Dominica, and some people have passports and they are going anywhere. So because of the pressure we put on them, they went back to birth certificates. So let me tell you, up to today somebody was asking me, if you do not have a driver's license, you do not have a passport, you don't have a social security card, all you need is your birth certificate. $20 for birth certificate. And the people of the St. Joseph constituency will be having a meeting very soon. We'll be inviting you to a meeting at
the village council office so we can discuss that very thing. So you get your birth certificate and you get a picture, a photograph similar to the photograph you have on your passport. And you come and you bring a witness, a credible person to say this is Edin Kotsenval, and then you can register. Don't allow those misfits, scary have in those wherever to frustrate you all and tell you all that you cannot register. You can register with your birth certificate. So my young people, please reconfirm. If you don't reconfirm, you will not be on the list. You will not be allowed to vote. You will go to the police station. When they look at you at the list, your name is not on the list. There is nothing, absolutely nothing you can do. Now, I live in Hawaii. Kim Jong-un. That name ring a bell? He is the president of North Korea. His grandfather was president before him. And then his father succeeded his grandfather. And now Kim Jong-un is there. It is not far-fetched. That's what Skerrit say. He wants to rule for 50 years. It is not far-fetched that Dimitri becomes Prime Minister of Dominica. And the only way we can stop that, ladies and gentlemen, is to reconfirm. Reconfirm. Don't allow that to frustrate you. We have, everything is right for us to do Skerrit. Everything is right. They know they are going down and they're trying to hold on to a straw. So please, my people, reconfirm and let us remove that oppressive government on our back. And finally, we have to go to Debouche to support Brother Nasio. As somebody said, it was Claudia, somebody said, the Chinese know everything about Dominica. They know we have copper up there. It's not nothing about wash fair, as Clarence Christian said, nothing about wash fair. It's our copper they're after. And could you imagine an expert say they have to go down 1,000 feet, to find the stones? So before they can find the stone, they have to move a lot of dirt. So where they're going to put that dirt? They're just decimating our country. So let us stand with Brother Nasio Fountain. Thank you for listening.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to go to the east. We're going to bring you a gentleman who is a farmer, a very, very hard-working gentleman. He comes from a constituency that we know is going to be in the bag come the next general election. All we have to do is, as many speakers have said, just be sure to go to the confirmation center, go to the registration center and confirm and register to ensure that the next government is the United Workers' Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up right now from the village of La Plaine. Before I even do that, let me say once again, we have the tickets for the raffle under the tent, $5 for a chance to win a Suzuki Carry, $5 only. This is the 5th year. This is a chance to win a vehicle for only $5. We have 4 witnesses in the past who have bought tickets and have won a vehicle for $5. Not $29,000, just $5. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring to you Mr. Ken Joseph from the village of La Plaine.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas.
Revenge should be a lifestyle.
Yes, thank Dr. Thomas. You know, I see this man very often.
And as he was echoing the fundraising drive, you could buy a ticket to win. As he said, it's a Suzuki Carry in our 5th year of fundraiser. And I want to urge you to support the United Workers' Party in fundraiser, because every time you support us with $5, you support the United Workers' Party for $5, you will get an opportunity to win every $5 a Suzuki Carry as the first prize, a refrigerator as the second prize, and your third prize is a smart TV. So continue buying your tickets, and you could start tonight by this booth over there. Anyway, let me say good night to the United Workers' Party supporters. Good night, people of Layou. Good night, good night. Yes, as our presenter said, Dr. Thomas, I hail from the community of Boetica, but in the La Plaine constituency. So I'm very proud to be there with you tonight. And as I go through, I see a lot of people from Mont John, River Civic, and Grand Fond. I am happy that you are here tonight. Let me tell you, when you hear about United Workers' Party, you must think the party slogan. And by thinking the party slogan, which is putting people first, we are focused on the integral development of Dominica. That is why in just 4.5 years of governance, the United Workers' Party engaged in capital projects in each constituency and in hamlets. And they used to say, it is said, imprinted in Dominica, the legacy of the United Workers' Party is we did something in each constituency. And in Patois, we rephrase it to say, Feke Shoy Tupatu. So the United Workers' Party did a lot in its 4.5 years. And then you can ask somebody like Hector John, or caretaker from Salisbury. He has the list of the achievements of the United Workers' Party in government. So anytime you check him, he will give you the list. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, my focus is on agriculture once again. And I am telling you that I am not an expert in agriculture, but if I sung as one, it's because it has a passion in me as a farmer and an exporter of agricultural produce. So I speak with a background knowledge that agricultural situation in Dominica, and I can say agriculture is in crisis. The truth is, most Dominicans has lost confidence in agriculture. Farmers have suffered for far too long as the neglect of agriculture by this DLP regime. Over these 4 years, they have witnessed the bad management of the sector. Not too long ago, you know the government officials was casting aspersions on agriculture and bananas by expressly stating that banana is a has-been industry, and also they condemn agriculture by saying aid is better than trade. You remember that? That is when we was in our heyday selling passports. So we used to say, if not passport, what? So we turned our back on agriculture. So the total neglect of agriculture entered in full effect. After that, no concern for production, no concern for trade. So as a result, banana and plantain subsector were neglected. Big neglect. The government failed in the control of black cigatoka. As plantain farmers in Dominica, especially in La Plaine, how they have to adapt to practices sanctioned by the Ministry of Agriculture in the control of black cigatoka. Farmers have to be delivering every week. And as a farmer myself, I could recall when I used to cut leaves, and many of you too, that we would leave 3 leaves on a tree. You can remember that? Because that is why the Minister of Agriculture said, so as to qualify us to get sprayed in the recycling, the antifungal recycling to control black sigatoka. Anyway, we saw the management of black sigatoka. It was lackadaisical. Farmers, though prepared, we would not see the sprayermen. We would not, if they came this week, they would come out 3 weeks. And so, black sigatoka took its toll on our agriculture. Its toll on agriculture, and that is why we're witnessing low production in agriculture today. And to prove my point on the neglect of black sigatoka, just this week, the Minister of Agriculture, you heard him, Roland Royer, 3 years as Minister of Agriculture, and he said he's disappointed with the management of black sigatoka trees in Dominica. That was his words. In 2012, 14 years ago, black sigatoka entered as a disease in our agriculture. 14 years ago, and the government engaged in the control of black sigatoka, as they said. And 14 years ago, as I said, it had to take numerous ministers of agriculture and this one, Mr. Roland Royer, to say that is disappointed in black sigatoka management. So, black sigatoka, what it did in La Plaine, as we speak, since last year, the price of plantain wholesale is $1.50. And every week you see hucksters scrambling, no plantain. Because you know why? Because the plantain sector suffered too much under black sigatoka, and farmers lost interest and production fell. And as a result of that, when you have a high demand of produce like plantain as it is, you see high prices. And so high prices will eventually means high cost of living, and so the people is suffering. But I have to tell you, my people, that when you think about the United Workers' Party, you think about the party that is always concerned and will be always concerned about agriculture in Dominica. We, in the United Workers' Party, we are blessed under the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine. This man is a renowned international economist, and he's also a farmer. When you see Dr. Fontaine the next time, you can engage him. He will tell you that he's involved, he's planting too. So I can tell you that Dr. Fontaine is very passionate about agriculture, and he, as the past leaders before him, Honorable Edison James, Sparks John, all other leaders, and even Lennox Linton, they all were passionate about agriculture, because agriculture is engraved in United Workers' Party textbook. We will ensure that agriculture is one of the main economic growth engines of this country, because we know what agriculture means. We know what agriculture means. Agriculture, when we talk agriculture, we're talking about agriculture as food security. We will promote local people to plant food, so that what you grow is what you will eat, and that is what we talk about food security, when a country like ours can sustain itself. When we talk about agriculture, we're talking about the primary industry, where we're going to get a surplus of agricultural produce, so we can add value with it in agro-processing to ensure that we can provide the region and the international markets with finished nature island products. When we talk about agriculture, we're also talking about agro-tourism, because we're interested in the foreign exchanges. We want foreign money. So agriculture will take part of it, will intertwine with tourism in smart farms. Economic growth. We see tourism, we see agriculture. United Workers' Party has plans to increase production in Dominica to boost the economy. We aim to be a big player agriculture exports to the regional market. As I speak, there's a very big demand for dashing and yams in the French markets, in one neighborhood Guadalupe market, Matnik. will take advantage of these opportunities, because this means more foreign exchange. And how are we going to realize it? We are going to realize that as we embark on the rehabilitation of existing feeder roads and construction of the new ones. Because as I know in Layou tonight, neighboring St. Joe, Mero, Salisbury, Monwatchet, Puli District, and I look to the east, I know what is Kahom, I know what is Chapara, because I passed there in my younger days going into garden, and they serve as a tourism product as well, because buses from the tourist buses carrying tourists would go all this area and bus all into Salisbury to show tourists what we have. So I must say that the United Workers' Party is concerned about agriculture, and led by the Honorable Dr. Fontaine, we will do our best to ensure that the people of Dominica benefit. I would like to say a lot more, but I was asked to wind down because we have more speakers. So let me thank you for coming. The United Workers' Party means real change, real change. And I just want to echo what my previous colleague, Mr. Ellington St. Val. You want to realize real change? I see all of us have our shirt, real change. You will not get real change unless you vote. You will not vote unless you go and reconfirm to ensure that you will be eligible on the voters list. So tomorrow, I want to ask you to undertake a task. Talk to a person and ask them to go and reconfirm in your constituency. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we're coming down to the end of the program, I want to call on now the chairman of the St. Joseph constituency, but even bigger than that, he is the vice president of the United Workers' Party. I'm going to call him now to say a few words. Put your hands together for Mr. Bernie Ryan. Yes, sir. Break that down. We don't have much time. Good night, the people of Layou, the people of St. Joseph, Bells and Mero, and Dominica by extension. I don't have much time because time is running out, but I want to tell you, the people of St. Joseph, that right now, it is not time for anybody to come and fool us no more. They fooled us how many times? They're not going to do it again. This trip, it is our turn. It is the United Workers' Party turn. Now is Monel William time. We are going to vote Monel William in St. Joseph. We are going to put the United Workers' Party to represent the people of St. Joseph. Because we're sick and tired of people coming and lie to us, and all they're doing is changing palrep upon palrep. Every election they're giving us another palrep. Right now they want to bring back Calvadaro for us. Calvadaro was there for 5 years, and there is nothing sustainable that he can show that he did in this constituency of St. Joseph to improve the life of the people of St. Joseph. Vince Henderson was there also, and there is nothing Vince Henderson can show that he did for the people of St. Joseph, except because of Carnival. He pitched all the road in St. Joseph because the truck was going on in big holes. You have Alice King, then that is the worst, because she don't even do her term. She only spent 2 years, they take her out. Now they bring Darren Lloyd. Right now, they want to hang him on a rope. And now the Prime Minister come in Layou, in the community center, and telling the people of St. Joseph, because Darren Lloyd passed in with his glass up, air condition, pip pip and go. As if it was his first time he know that happening. He have been blaming all the palrep, but the problem is not the palrep. The problem is the government. The problem is the leader. We have to change the leader. We have to change the government. And we have to give the United Workers' Party that opportunity. The people of St. Joseph is still waiting for the Jeff Jobo River under the cliff. The people of St. Joseph is still waiting for the market they promised us. The people of St. Joseph is still waiting for the health center they say they buy the property. They give everybody notice, and the people they give notice have to come back the same place because no health center is building. We're still renting to put our firemen in St. Joseph. Right now, we're renting 2 billion to put our police officers. Up to now, our police station cannot finish. My people of St. Joseph, how long will this government continue fooling us? How long will they come and give us handout and make us believe that only handout we have to live on? St. Joseph was an independent village, and right now, St. Joseph is depending on a government. How long are we going to stay depending on this government? It is time for us to wake up, smell the coffee, and it is time for us to put the United Workers' Party in power. And I guarantee you, with Monel Williams and Barney Ryan as the chairman of St. Joseph will rise again. I wish you well. Yes, yes, yes. Have you ever heard of the Energizer Bunny? That's a powerful, powerful vice president and chairman. Yes, yes. If you were asleep, you're awake now. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you have representation in this community. And you should make sure that representation stays the way it is. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about representation. There's this lady who's been fighting for this community for the past few years. She's a powerful woman, a powerful politician, a knowledgeable person, a very, very, very great speaker, and a person who has the best interest of St. Joseph at heart. Ladies and gentlemen, the next parliamentary representative for the constituency of St. Joseph, Miss Monel Williams John Baptist.
Hip hip hip! That you do, coming right back to you. All your vengeance still, let natural justice prevail. 'Cause the sweetest vengeance any man can feel is to succeed where everybody wanted you to fail. Workers! I don't hear it on you. Come on. We Layou. Workers! Workers. Dominicans from across the length and breadth of Dominica. Those of you who have joined us via social media. Welcome to Layou. Layou! Layou, you there? Layou, you there? We love Layou, the Titiwi capital, the sports capital, the fishing capital of the constituency of St. Joseph. I bid all of you a very warm welcome from the people of Bells, Layou Park, Sultan, Clark Hall Cafe. You all know it, Chapara, Goul, Mero, St. Joseph. Welcome to Layou. We are happy to have you here. My chairman came and he gave a vibrant speech. Need I say more? Need I say more? You all want me to talk still? Boy. Okay, because I have to keep it short, I'm going to try to stay. This little thing. I'm going to keep it short. All right. Before I continue, I just want to say Basil has been spending some time in our constituency. Even today, we experienced the death of another brother, son of the soil. And I just want to take the time off to say deepest condolences to all of the families who are hurting and who have lost a loved one in a time like this. But Dominicans, it's not just the sickness, it's the stress too. Tout moun malade. Because we're sick and we're tired. We're tired of the same thing. It's time for them to. It's time for them to. It's time for them to go. Layou, wake up. Layou, wake up. St. Joe, wake up. Dominica, wake up. A wise man once said, the world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on
and do nothing. I am no self-proclaimed saint, but I've always been passionate about the things that affects Dominica and the St. Joseph constituency. And let's be honest, there's a lot that needs fixing, restoring, rebuilding, and eliminating from the current equation. Today, I want us to pause for thought and critical analysis of where we are and where we are going, and ultimately where we want to be. Our democracy is threatened by a political organization that is bent on creating a state of autocracy. But the blame is not just theirs, it is ours. We have the government we deserve. The change starts with you, it starts with me, it starts with all of us. It is time for them to go. It is time for them to go. How? Layou, how do we silently support a system that has destroyed the fabric of our economic and social development? St. Joe, this constituency boasted of some of the most renowned farmers and fisher folks and hucksters, men and women of our grandparents' generation, who were able to work hard and diligently, building homes, businesses, and sending their children to school off of the proceeds of farming and fishing and huckstering. We are supposed to outsmart, outperform, and outwork the generation before. But for the past 25 years, we have seen a generation lost in a welfare economy bent on handouts instead of hand-ups. Am I right or am I right? Right. Businesses lost, delayed progress, substandard infrastructural development, a decline in birth rates, an increase in violence and death rates, a brain drain of our brightest minds, politicians who are more interested in personal development than people development, and a healthcare system that is falling through the cracks. It is time for them to go. I asked a son of the soil yesterday to name one tangible, progressive and sustainable project that this government has undertaken in this constituency. Please, someone, correct me if I am wrong. Where is the boulevard between Layou and St. Joe? Why is the health center not modernized and equipped properly? Why is the police station incomplete? Where is the drying plant promised for bells? Why are the feeder roads in such a state of disrepair? What happened to the completion of the Layou Valley Road, the St. Joseph River Wall, the basketball court in St. Joe, the development of the Bells playing field, the strata titles for the recipients of the government housing at Hillsborough Gardens? It is time for them to go. It is time for them to go. Mero, we boasted of two of the most thriving resorts, the Layou River and the Castaways, spaces that provided employment for so many of the residents of the area. Today, the self-proclaimed lovers of this constituency, those that passing around with the envelopes, they have opted to take their hotel, my dear cousin, to the other side of town instead of bringing it home. It is time for them to go. It is time for them to go. Those white envelopes and pocket change has not changed our circumstances. Across the length and breadth of this country, the conversations are the same. Our feeder and farm access roads sit in disrepair. Homes are built today, not as monuments of legacy and generational wealth. They are now prisons of politicians. They are afraid for you to say and speak out against the ills because you're ungrateful if you do it, right? This is not a home, this is a prison. If they take your voice, they have taken your freedom. It is time for them to go. It is time for them to go. I saw the recipients of the Post-Maria Housing Recovery Program that was funded by the World Bank on the social media pages of our politicians. May I remind Roosevelt, Skerritt and Company that all of you are stewards of the people's money and their affairs. The grateful one should be you all. Because while the masses have been demoted to a space of handouts and poverty, you have elevated yourselves to prestige and prosperity. It is time for them to go. A good steward of the people of Dominica will. The United Workers' Party will. Dr. Thompson Fountain will ensure that the recipients of homes have a dignified transfer for one, and that they will be titled holders of the spaces that they live. They will foster a sense of pride and belonging and continuity that I know many of you wish you had. We will undertake an island-wide initiative of restoring the feeder roads so that the farmers and the children of farmers that now feel that farming is an impossible path to wealth can return to their farms, modernized and structured so that their hard work will actually pay off. Our young people aren't lazy, brothers and sisters. They are demotivated. The biggest motivator is working and seeing the rewards of your hard work. But what's the point? Now, when dashing is ready and there is no market, it is time for them to go. We will ensure that the agricultural waste that exists now can be converted into cash. We will invest in manufacturing plants so that our mangoes, our coconuts, our citrus, and our marijuana will not be available in only its raw form. We don't want our young men smoking a joint. We want them making money off of the marijuana. It is time for them to go. Ladies and gentlemen, this vision is not far-fetched. Dr. Thompson Fountain is a renowned economist. We do not say it enough. This is a man that countries across the globe with 70 million people call so he can give them economic advice to revive their economy. If you are sick, you need a doctor. Is that correct? Yeah. If you need learning, you need a teacher. If you need an economy fixed, you need an economist. It is time for them to go. Brothers and sisters, there is much more that I have to say. There is much work to be done, but it is time for me to leave you all. It has been a pleasure. Sanjo, I love you. Layou, I love you. Mary, I love you. Dominica, I love you. It is time for them to go. Workers! Workers! Workers!
In everything that you do, it makes life better for you. When you're on the right track, and there's goodwill and satisfaction in giving back. If you can't stop or turn from your way of survival, you must keep something up for nothing at all. Do not listen to the people that will tell you things that will lead you to your
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a young lady here. She's come all the way from the Kalinago territory. And so we're going to ask her to come and say a few words really quick. It's a powerful young lady, and we are always favorable to our youth, and we want to hear from our youth because, of course, they are the future. At this time, I call to the platform Miss Annie Thomas.
My fellow Dominicans, good night. Good night. Let me greet you all properly. To those gathered here tonight, I thank you for your presence. To those watching on television, to those joining us on Facebook, to those listening by radio across the country, wherever you are, I greet you. Yes. Because tonight this message is not just for the crowd, it is for the entire nation. Tonight I stand before you with deep sense of responsibility, not because I have all the answers, but because I chose to listen. And when you truly listen to people, not only on platforms, not only in speech, but in real conversations, you begin to hear something deeper than politics. You hear truth. Over the past few days, I spoke to many Dominicans, and what I heard, I will never forget. I heard struggle, I heard hope, but most of all, I heard fear. Not loud fear, quiet fear. The kind that makes people lower their voices. The kind that make people look around before they speak. The kind that keep good people at home, even tonight. So tonight, I stand there for all those who could not come, for the workers who is afraid, for the parent who is worried, for the young people who feels unheard. Tonight, I am your voice, and I will not be silent for you tonight. I am not just a speaker on this stage. I am a reminder that no matter how quiet they try to keep you, no matter how afraid you may feel, the people of this country still have a voice, and that voice will not be silent. As one of the youngest voices here tonight, I stand with pride, but I do not stand for the youth only. I stand with every Dominican. Because what I heard was not limited to one group. It was everywhere. I remember speaking to one elderly woman. She told me, I am not getting nothing, but I will still vote where I feel help is coming. And when she said it, I didn't hear politics, I heard survival. I heard someone trying to hold on in the only way she knows, and my heart went out to her. Because no Dominican should ever feel like their future depends on closing. Because no Dominican should ever feel like their future depends on choosing out of fear instead of freedom. And let me ask you something tonight, and please answer me honestly. Are you comfortable with fear?
No.
Are you comfortable staying silent?
No way.
Or are you ready to stand up for yourself?
Yeah.
Then let your voice be heard. Because that fear, that is not freedom, that is not dignity, and that is not the Dominica we deserve. Now tonight, I want to speak with respect to those who support the Dominican Labour Party. Because you are not the enemy, you are our brothers, you are our sisters, you are Dominican. And many of you are grateful. Grateful for homes, grateful for assistance, grateful for support. And that gratitude is real. But let us speak the truth, respectfully and honestly. Much of what has been given did not come from any politician's pocket. It came through partnership, through institutions like World Bank, Israel Aid, UNICEF, through international support, and for resources that ultimately belongs to the people of this country. So let us understand something clearly. No government is giving you their money. It is the people's money, your tax money, your work, your sacrifice. So the real question is not who has money. The real question is who will manage it fairly, who will respect the people, who will make sure it reaches all of us. Because development is not just building and roads. Development is people. People who feel secure, people who feel respected, people who feel free. And that is why the United Workers' Party continues to stand, not just to win, but to ensure that every Dominican has a voice, that no one feels left out, and that no one feels afraid. So why does your vote matter? Why should you take that step? Because voting is not just politics, it is personal. You vote for how your money is managed. You vote for the opportunities your children will have. You vote for whether you live in fear or in freedom. You vote for fairness. You vote for dignity. And if you believe that your voice matters, then you already have your reason to vote. Because if you do not decide your future, someone else will decide it for you. So tonight, I say this to every Dominican. If you support Labour, you are welcome. If you are thinking about change, you are welcome. If you have never voted before, you are welcome. This moment is for you too, because this country belongs to all of us. Don't sit on the sideline. If you are not registered, get registered. If you are not confirmed, get confirmed. Because your future depends on your participation. Stand up, step forward, take your place. And when that time comes, go out and vote. Vote with confidence. Vote with courage. Vote knowing that this country belongs to you. So when that time comes, do not hesitate. Do not be afraid. Stand firm. Stand proud. And when you step into your voting booth, remember who you are. You are the power. You are the voice. You are the future of this country. And no one can take that away from you. And when we gather again, bring someone with you. Bring your family. Bring your friends. Bring those who are still on shore. Because the next time we must be stronger. We must be louder. And we must be united. My fellow Dominicans, this country is yours. Not to fear, not to borrow, not to beg, but to claim. God bless you, and God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. Thank you. Workers! Workers! We are small in number, but if every time we bring someone, and if you tell them about the good things that await ahead for them, they will get out of that fear. To those watching, do not be afraid. Do not watch the crowd and say we are smaller, we are outnumbered. We are just silently waiting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Annie Thomas. Because of the importance of the youth, I wanted to make sure that she got her whole 10 minutes to say what she had to say, because what the youth has to say is important. They are the future, and they are on the ground, and they know what's going on, they are talking to their peers and they know what their peers and how they are suffering. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, as we come towards the end of the program, something I've neglected to do, which is to send a big shout out to the constituency of Wesley, consisting of Wesley, Woodford Hill and Palm Tree. To all the people of Wesley, I want to say, those who are here tonight, thanks for coming. Those who wanted to come and couldn't come, next time be sure that you're part of the celebration, because that's what it is. We're celebrating the moment when this government is going to be no more, and the United Workers' Party, led by the Honorable real Dr. Thompson Fontaine, is going to help and is going to lead the way to economic prosperity in this country. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you an entertainer, the one and only, singing the song. What is the name of the song? Been batting too long? We've been batting for way too long. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you now Mr. Kalfa P.
It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame, the way the captain controlling the game. Ça n'avait le côtoyer. Manienouye, why the other countries scoring more than we? Come in, never once of the attack, you know that? Always last like Karat. But you know we don't like that. All kind of hardship. Under this leadership we cannot score anymore. You ready to bowl him, boy? There you go. Somebody bowl him. Somebody bowl him. Just bowl him. The man batting for too long, but making no score. Is it true? So somebody bowl him. Bowl him, just bowl him. The man batting for too long, but making no score. What he doing? All he do is choking, making noise, making no six. The man batting for too long, but making no score. Somebody scream! Is it true, Americans? Queen! Boom, boom. Tiggity, 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 tiggity. Hear me now and believe me. Listen. Back my words. Back my words. Back my words. Back my words. The batsmen that we have better than them. Oh yes, c'est le bon à passer. Tiwe monsieur. The game now go be the same. No more again. And you know what? If you change it, why would you put it in stress? Take she out of the darkness. She needs some happiness. So let the people choose a new team. What's it? Do you have a new team? Let me go. So somebody bowl him. Just bowl him.
The man batting for too long, but making no score. You know, somebody pull it, body out. Pull it, body out. Just pull him, pull him. The man batting for too long, but making no score. What are you doing? All he do is choking, choking. Making noise, making no six. The man batting for too long, but making no score. Tira-e, tira-e. Hey! Sing-a-dee-dee, diggity, sing-a-dee-dee, diggity, sing-a-dee-dee, diggity, sing-a-dee. Right now, what you gonna do? And it's not going to do it. Bully out, bully out, bully man out, bully man out. Could be a run out, just some bout a pull out. Get the man out. Oh yes, il a pas bounty. Aidez-nous souple, aidez-nous souple. If Lara time expire, you got to go brother retire. Oh lad, you get just playing smart. While your pocket getting fat. All you giving us is fat. So right now, we got this new ball. Don't you come, come, come. So somebody bully out. Bully out. Just ball him, ball him. The man batting for too long, but making no score. So somebody ball him, just ball him, ball him. The man batting for too long, but making no score. One line, let me go, sure. All he do is choking, choking, making noise, making no six. The man batting for too long, but making no score. Somebody scream! Thank you, I love you. God bless you. See ya, Yes. Batting forever and scoring a duck. Nothing. No runs. Can't make a 4, can't make a 6, can't even make a single. Need to run him out, stomp him out, just get him out. Can't handle this choking every time. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I want to bring to the stage the deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party, the one that we call the same Ronald Charles. Want to bring him to the stage. I want to thank all the people of Layou for having us here tonight. It was great, and I was so thrilled to be here. You've been a wonderful crowd. It's been great. Ladies and gentlemen, next on the lineup, the deputy political leader, Mr. the same Ronald Charles.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say good evening and welcome to Mayor, St. Joseph constituency. Layou and Mayor and everybody and the environment. Let me say this to you. This evening, you heard it right. We were speaking about
Music, music, music! Let's ball him! Let's ball him! Music!
Okay, thank you. I heard a partner named C. Somebody tried to stall my mic. But ladies and gentlemen, let me say this to you. This evening is serious business. I want you to understand that your presence here this evening means a lot to the Dominican people. There are many persons who cannot be here tonight.
We know why.
Because the Labour Party, they have designed a system to stifle your freedom of expression. So put your hands together for yourselves for being here tonight, because you are the real soldiers of Dominica. There are a lot of things happening to us, and you know it, ladies and gentlemen. All the speakers have said it. You go in the little store, in the supermarkets, and sometimes you're waiting for some people to pass first before you bring your thing to cash, because you're not sure if you're going to make it. Sometimes while you're taking things on the shelf, you're making people see things you're putting in your basket, then you're quietly taking it out because the money cannot make it.
I like you. You're right.
You're going for 10 bags of cement. When you reach there, you're asking for 5. You're going on the bus. When you reach on the bus, you're telling the bus driver, I go check you. You're going for bags. When you reach there, you're saying, you're selling it by half?
No. Half a big.
You're going for gas. And when you reach in the gasoline station, you're taking all the little coins you have in the corner because you're not sure if you're going to make it. When you send the children to school, you used to give them $5. Now you're giving them 5 drive bags. That's the reality. When you come to the teachers' meetings at the school and they say feast time, you're staying outside. When you go to the hospital and they tell you that the scan that you have to do is 1,002, you're saying you forget your wallet. This is the reality that is affecting our people, and it's because of bad governance. And when we stand here this evening, they will post and they will say 2 people that were there, but they too got the message that we are here standing for equal rights and justice. And I really want to commend you. Ladies and gentlemen, what has been happening to Dominicans is not an easy road. It is time that you encourage every single member of your family to get confirmed. You need to get confirmed. You need to encourage people to go out there and confirm. I heard that they look at the list recently and somebody say things not looking good. Ladies and gentlemen, there are Dominicans. This is our time to show that Dominica is better than that. We cannot continue as a people suffering, but yet still we believe that there is something we must hold on to. Now I must admit, there are some capital projects going on. Ask yourselves, please ask yourselves, how many Dominican professionals like the engineers that are engaged in these projects? Ask yourselves. A lot of people are coming here and they're taking the jobs of our young people. Ask yourselves what is happening at your home. When you open the fridge and you see for yourselves things are rough. And then some pal rep come and they tell you, well, the election coming soon. Now all of them like fummy fool. Because the election coming and the game start again. We have to wake up, Dominicans. We have to wake up because now is the time to do it. You do not have another chance. If Dominicans would allow the Labour Party to get back into government, this would be the biggest mistake we have made. Now, while I am around there, first time in the history, I seen some people recording, they taking photo. This never used to happen in our history. Agents are wrong. Me, all you checking. We're not in that violence thing. We're not in them thing there. So the people that are here taking photos and taking things and then sending it for who was there, and therefore if your picture come out, you wouldn't get something tomorrow, your name will come out on the list. Now is the time to stand up. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. And ladies and gentlemen, where is the Mr. DJ? Give me something. Ladies and gentlemen, it's leadership time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the next Prime Minister of Dominica. Put your hands together for the man, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. Let us make some noise for the next Prime Minister of Dominica, Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
Good night, Dominica. Good night, Layou. Good night to all of you from everywhere. I see lots of my guys from Grand Fort. Big up to you, Rivière Syrique, Montjon, Montreal, Montregat. It's good to have all of you from La Plaine, Belize, and all of the east of Dominica, and of course, the beautiful people of the West Coast, Roseau, Salisbury, all around. It's good to have you, and of course, for the support that we've always had here in Layou. We say a big up to you, the people of Layou. And by the way, Dominica, St. Joseph is back into the United Workers' Party Club. That is it. That is it. Well, let me just tell you, I'll be very short. I know you've been very patient. You've been there. You've heard a lot of speakers. But I will be very brief tonight. But I want to encourage you. I want you, Dominica, to take a look with me into what we want to build for this country. Take a look into the future. Take a look into what Dominica is going to become in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time. We want to forget about the last 25 years, the worst years in the history of this country. These were the years when we saw the complete destruction of agriculture in this country. A country that has been blessed where every single square inch of this country can grow something. And yet this government decided to destroy agriculture and in the process destroy the lives of countless Dominicans. And so I'm here to tell you tonight that a better future beckons. There is a better future for Dominica.
For too long, this government has waged economic warfare against the people of Dominica, to the point where they have taken away the manufacturing. When you count the number of businesses that have been shut down under this government, Layou, DCP, you name it, business after business have been shut down. Local entrepreneurs, no more. We no longer have a local business class in Dominica, destroyed under this Labour Party government. And they have done very little to build our young people. A few days ago, I saw a very interesting picture on Facebook. It was the Prime Minister, the Premier of the British Virgin Islands. And he was thanking our Prime Minister for sending all of these wonderful young Dominicans to the BVI. Because they're doing a great job in the BVI. He's very happy with them. They're helping to build up the BVI. These Dominicans in the BVI, in St. Kitts, in Antigua, should be right here in Dominica, building up this country. And that is what, ladies and gentlemen, a United Workers' Party government offers. We are going to bring back the young people that are scattered across the Caribbean back into Dominica to build Dominica. That is the future that we offer you. A future not of handouts. A future not of $300 to the elderly. A future not of countless struggle and pain and suffering, but a future of prosperity. A United Workers' Party government is going to put money back into the pockets of the Dominican public. Yes, we are going to do it, and I'll tell you how we will in a very short time. We are going to put money back into the pockets of the Dominican public by rebuilding our agriculture. By rebuilding our agriculture, by rebuilding our water industry, by selling our water across the globe, by building up our marijuana industry. We are going to be putting money into the hands of the Dominicans, by ensuring that the feeder roads are taken care of, that money is put in and invested in the agriculture sector. We are going to revamp the manufacturing sector. We are going to be bringing in companies back into Dominica that will provide opportunities for the young people in particular of this country. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where I'm strong. For the past 25, 30 years, that is all I have done. Help countries put their young people to work. And I'm back here in Dominica. And with the help of a strong team, we are going to ensure that prosperity is once again in Dominica. I am tired. I am sick and tired of what this country has become. I am sick and tired of our young people seeing no future in this country. It is time for us to build a better Dominica. It is time for us to build a country that we are proud of. A country that we believe in. A country that once again we can be proud of our passports. And I'm talking about passports. Let me just go move a little bit away to tell you something. Now that the United States is at war with Iran, we are finding out that our passports, our Dominican passports, are in the hands of top Iranians. These are individuals who used our passports to evade United Nations sanctions against Russia, to ensure that billions of dollars flowed into Russia, that they can keep fighting in the Ukraine, to ensure that billions of dollars flowed into Iran. The use of our passport, because they took our passport to set up companies that they were now able to go into Washington, D.C., into New York and Wall Street, set up companies in those countries using the strength of the Dominica passport. But what is worse, they did that using false names. They did that using names given to them by the government of Dominica. Names like Hector and Hiyak and Hugo. Nothing to do with their Arabic names. And so, ladies and gentlemen, because of that, the Dominica passport is now being trampled upon. No longer can you walk or go to Barbados and get a visa to go and see your child in the United States. No longer, after you've worked so hard to send your child to school, can you say, go to Barbados and get a visa to go to study in the United States, to become a doctor or a lawyer, to make something of yourselves. All of that is gone under this Labour Party government. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we need to restore Dominica to its former place. We need to bring this country back. We have suffered for too long. And so we are in the election season. Elections are upon us. We just heard tonight that there are elections in Antigua. So all the countries are going early. And we suspect very much that right here in Dominica, there will be early elections. So I would like you, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave here tonight, to talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your children. We need to take this country back. 25 years is way too long for any one government. 25 years of pain, 25 years of suffering. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Dominicans at home and abroad, we are offering the United Workers' Party raise a better future for you with the 10 pillars to shed prosperity. You heard it from our president earlier. We are tackling the areas of agriculture, of the tourism industry, our Kalinago people, our cultural industries. We are ensuring that there is zero corruption in government. We are going to be doing everything to ensure that we can once again be proud to be called Dominican. We've lost that under this government. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you tonight. I want to encourage you tonight to stand fast. We have been in the wilderness for a very long time. But the day is coming, and the day is close, when the United Workers' Party will once again form this government. And I need to hear you in this. The day is coming, and it is not far from now, when the United Workers' Party will form the government of this country. They have tried everything. They have tried to put us in jail. They have tried to destroy our character, destroy our name. They've done everything to try to get rid of us, but we are there. We are standing strong. We are standing together. And we believe that a better day is coming for Dominica when the United Workers' Party once again is in government. And so I would like you to believe tonight that the Labour Party is in its last days. That the future of Dominica is one where we will see the United Workers' Party as the government of this country. Because we have a plan. We do not believe in handouts. We do not believe in just doing what this government is doing, saying, you know, we'll give you a cool-out. We do not believe in cool-outs. We believe in people working hard for their dollar. We believe in people working hard for their money. Like the many dashing farmers now in my community, that every Saturday they are working hard, they're selling their dashing, they're getting their hard, dry cash in their hand. And I see some of them here waving their hands to this. That is what we are talking about. A country where people can work and earn and have money in their pockets. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let us not despair. Let us believe that our better days are ahead, and that we, the United Workers' Party, will once again form this government. And so I want to thank you. We have begun to go across this country. Tonight is the first meeting like this. We'll continue to go from constituency to constituency, awakening the people. I get the sense sometimes that we are falling asleep. I get the sense sometimes that after 25 years, 26 years of being out of government, we have given up. But we should not give up, because our better days are ahead of us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for coming. I know you've come from far, and I want you to get back home safely. But let me thank you for being there tonight. This is just the beginning. We are taking this all the way to victory. I'm saying this again. We are taking this all the way to victory. We started in Grand Form. We are here in Layou. Next we'll be in Roseau. Then we'll be in Grand Bay. Then we'll be in Soufriere. Then we'll be in Salisbury. We'll be all over Dominica, taking it constituency by constituency until we form this government. We will not rest. We will not stop until we have gotten rid of this Labour Party government and until we have a new United Workers' Party as the government of this country, leading our country in truth, in honesty, in integrity, in accountability. A country where once again we will be proud to hold on to our passports, proud to say that we are Dominicans, proud to say that we are creating futures for the young people of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is possible, it is doable with your support, with your support, with your support. We will, with your support, become the next government of this country. Thank you. Good night. God bless you. And see you next month at the next public meeting. God bless you. Have a good night and get home safe, everyone.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes. Everybody make sure you drive home safe. We want to give the police officer thanks for the presence here. We also want to give you thanks for coming and support the United Workers' Party. Make sure you drive home safe. Before you go, make sure you check by the tent and get yourself a ticket so that you can win a Suzuki pickup 4-wheel drive. If you're doing farming, that pickup will be good for you. So make sure you buy your ticket for $5 before you leave.